This is Yerushalmi Peah Dav Gimel, which is according to the article as well as the edition is the top of top of Gimel Amarav, Mamish at the top, and in the Vilna edition is top Beis Amarav, Mamish at the top. For our young, Masnisim Ariya is pointing. Our mission is about how many times to go into the base of Mikdash. Because carbon yesh l'shir, but the carbon, the Olasriya does have a shir. Yasakai Rabbi Yochanan, like Rabbi Yochanan said, more kesef, shtei kesef, for Torah. More kesef as the value of the carbon riyah, and shtei kesef is the value of carbon chagiga, or both the Torah, both the shir or the raisa. Tana Rabbi Yossi Kun Rabbi Yochanan, he argues that riyah koshu. The raisa riyah, the value of carbon riyah is koshu. Chachamim shomru more kesef, shtei kesef. Chachamim are the ones who said that Holistia is the one kesef and Chagiga two kesef. Amlev Yesh Kein Zu. So he asked him, and then Rabbi Yochanan's asking Rabbi Yossi, is that, not sure that's who it is, but I don't see other names here. Anyway, is that true? How does that work? Is it true that Torah doesn't say that Chachamim came and specified? So he said, Rabbi Yaina, aren't all the shurim that give my chachamim? Because I see a mace, that's metame. Because I see a veil, that's metame. That's parameters of each one's tumah as relevant. Chadash min hasheretz, lentil slice of one of the things that Torah defines as sheretz. That's metame. So many things to show us given rabban. Lo asa mishlo kado. What do you mean? Let's ask. It's like this. And this is I'm going with the Rashash interpretation of this point. It says the time Rabbi Yosha says lo yu panai reikom. It says lo yu panai reikom afilu kosher. Midoraisa again. It's there's no shir. Chomro more kesef shtei kesef. Somebody said no. It's a more kesef shtei kesef b'sham chagiga. The kashya. So our difficulty is midu samach l'dvar Torah. Since if a person relies on the Dvar Torah, everything something which is the carbon value mashu, samach Dvar Torah, who is relying on the Torah, Amar Chachamim ma kesef shtei kesef. How can Chachamim say no? You weren't Yossi. You have to bring another carbon. You have to be ma kesef or ma shtei kesef, ma kesef shtei kesef worth of this carbon. It's not. It's like carbon which is not necessary. If it writes already Yotzei with a mashu, how come it's say no, it's not good enough? You have to bring another one. Not sure it's a question of Chulim Bazar because being brought out of Safa as a suffix Nadava. But still, the point is, how can Chachamim say you have to bring another carbon if you're Yotzei Deraisa? Yeah. So it could be the question is a little bit different. It could be the question like there's a Taz who says that anything which is mufurish in the Torah, Chachamim don't have the koach to be goyzer on. So since the Torah says lo panai reikam, which means you shouldn't see Hashem with nothing, with zero value. It means it has to have a value. But if it says explicitly that a value is sufficient, a kosher. As case, Chachamim can't come and make a gzeira according to that Taz. I don't know where it wrote the Taz, but it's a Taz somewhere. That you can't make a gzeira on something which is mefurish by Torah. If something's mefurish by Torah, then you can't make a gzeira. It's only something where Torah by affairs you can make a gzeira, but not here. Okay, but the Gemara doesn't answer it in any event. It just means a different opinion. On Rabbi Yossi, Barbun Rabbi Yochanan Kitatei. Rabbi Yochanan holds like he's known to hold from elsewhere. Rabbi Yochanan Mar Kol Shir Melachim Moshe Misinai. Right, so all Shir Melachim Moshe Misinai. Dua Mar Kesef Shtei Kesef. Dua Mar Kesef Shtei Kesef Dvar Torah. So he holds with Midoraisa, and therefore, if you didn't put a carbon which wasn't that value, you're not going to have bring another carbon. Rabbi Yossi Gedaite. Rabbi Yossi who says afilu koshu, right? So he said, Rabbi Yossi, the one that said before, afilu koshu, he follows his line, his own reasoning or his own shita from elsewhere. Yerushalmi said, "Ochel isur b'zman hazeh." Somebody eats a prohibited substance b'zman hazeh. So in our day and age, when there's a base, there's Torah Shomas Allah, so she has to write down the measurement of how much he ate. Shemiyah Basin Acher. Maybe another basin will arise someday. Yishana Allah as the Shim will change the Shurim. So that's no. We're according to the new standard. That whether he was violated or didn't violate the prohibition. So the Kavanaki adds on, who do Amar, that's what he says, Ria Koshu. B'chachamim hem shom amru kesef, ma kesef, shtei kesef. So Rabbi Yoshua is saying that there are shiurim which are not mefurish in the Torah, right? And those are given chachamim, maybe going to change the shiur. But he's telling you that's not exactly the case. Boas Riyah, since the shiur in Torah is explicitly lo pnei come, so koshu is sufficient, and therefore it's not like anything else where Basin will come someday and change the shiur to something else. So Amrei, they said chazav min hada. Yochanan changed his mind on that which he said that it's halacha l'Moshe Sinai. That's the Amrei is going like Rabbi Yossi. We saw before. Tiny Rabbi Yossi, Kumi Rabbi Yochanan, Ria Koshu Chachamim, Shoma Kesef Shtei Kesef. So evidently, to the way the Gemara is learning it now, that was Rabbi Yochanan's Shita. Although then it becomes unclear who's the Amalei V'yesh Kein Zu. Because it's what said Rabbi Yochanan, seen Rabbi Yochanan, because Moshe says himself that Amar Yochanan Yesh, pretty much puts in the Gemara. Amar Rabbi Yochanan Yesh Kein Zu, B'chim Matzina B'gon Zu Sheyah Hashem Divrei. Now it's possible to say that. So it sounds like Rabbi Yochanan was not agreeing with Rabbi Yossi, but now this, the Amrei is, I guess he was moidet Rabbi Yossi. That is me the rights of the kosher. Rabbi Yonah and Rabbi Yossi Tavein Amrei. Rabbi Yonah and Rabbi Yossi both say Lo Chazabei. So I don't know. Same Rabbi Yossi is above. I guess he's saying to the Gemara, no, I was there, and Rabbi Yochanan was not Chazabei. He didn't renege. He asked me a question, he didn't renege. So the first opinion was, which is unattributed, Amrei, is that Rabbi Yochanan changed his mind, and the second is that Rabbi Yochanan did not change his mind. Lo Chazabei. V'od min adah. And also we know this from here. The Amar Rabbi Law said, as I think I mentioned in Brachos, that sometimes Yerushalmi Peah confused. They think they would read this Amar Rabbi Lo Yispal good. No, here it's Amar Rabbi Law. Rabbi Law said, and Rabbi Law is Rabbi Law in the Bavli, in the Yerushalmi very often appears just as law. Amar Rabbi Law Yispal good Chizkiya Rabbi Yochanan. Chizkiya Rabbi Yochanan argued. Chizkiya Amar Chizkiya said you can divide up your the money you spend on the Olasriya among several animals. No one animal has to be worth that value of more kesef shtei kesef. You can't divide it up into animals. Each animal has to be worth of it. Two kesef. Okay. There's like I say name Chizkiya, Adam Tofel Behema LeBehema. You can add on an animal to animal. Today Moshe says, there's many people who need to eat. And one is not enough for Sham Mechayiga. Certainly the old Behema Sarches has being other animals. Most chulin, you don't have chulin money. Kim Lavi Man Behema Achas only for one animal. Yochel Chaber most Meiser Sheni Shalo. You can add together, bring money with a Meiser Sheni which he possesses, but you can't bring a Zikr Chiyuv, because Zikr Chiyuv has come in a chulin. But bring Meiser Sheni, Ulavi man Shar Be'emas Kvin Sarka, bring more animals as he needs. Even though we don't Yontov is an obligation, it has to come from chulin. Hacha came to the maybe Be'ema Achas Mina chulin, since you brought one animal from chulin, for Yotzi Dechavasa. The zoo, you're Yotzi with that, you You can bring other animals from Meiser. So Chizkiah is Adam Teufel Behema Lebehema. But Ein Adam Teufel Mos Lemos. But you can't bring the same animal from Chulin and from Meiser Sheni money. That's me. Moshe's Klomer Bilbach Leir Mos Meiser Imos Chulin Levi Beim Beim Achas the Chagigas Chavaso. But Chizkiah Lekame. Chizkiah, according to his opinion, so the Adam Cholei Chavaso Shtei Behemos. You write up your obligation of two animals. Came the Lavi Behema Achas, Afmima Achas, since you can bring one animal from one maw, Kamil El Chizkiah, he'll catch an elama Achas Chulin. Yavi Behema Me'ama Chulin Sheesh Biyado. Even though he has to bring, even though he has to bring more than one animal, but he can bring that one animal. He can bring with the maw. Loipa ma'aser mos ma'aser lemam b'chulin zu. V'dei likach behem behem achas shigdol v'shal b'yoser. Take an animal which is larger and worth more. Shulchak failed. If this is better, she'll be behem achas mi maw chulin sheyesh lo. She'll bring one animal from the maw of chulin which he has. It says the chavas min chulin behem azul avada. Fulfills obligation from this animal of chulin. Shum iruv mos ma'aser and without bringing any ma'aser money. The shtei shamu ain't only rabbanim milama. That's important because he only has the maw of chulin. So the two mos is only the rabbanim. In tzarchu og l'kdei sapik ochlin ma'avrim shalo yikach mos ma'aser b'man obey mos acheros. So then he can bring other animals after he brought one animal min achlin. Now Bnei Moshe says v'chaser kan. Rabbi Yochanan, the words are missing here. And it's supposed to say, it's a chiga. Rabbi Yochanan, on tofel ma lema, you add money to money. Ain't adam tofel behemos lebehemo. You can't add animals to animals. Mesha explains. Rabbi Yochanan mitami. Come out, ain't adam chavasa. Person can't distribute the schiyuv. Sheyesh lav lavi chagigim shtei kesef. The obligation has to be chagigim, which are two kesef. Shtei behemos over two animals. You have to bring one animal which is worth two kesef. So shtei kesef midin torah. Those two kesef is midoraisa. Now, maybe o behemos acheres chagigaso, and as you bring other animals for your chagiga, tzarich should take call achas v'achas v'sham shtei kesef. Each one has to be two kesef. Now he only has a ma. Achas shechulin. Then yochol likach ba behema achas. Can't buy an animal. Lo sagi behema, but pachim shtei kesef. He has to buy an animal which is worth $2. Toifel mos meiser ma mochlin. You should, in this case, pool the money of meiser with your money of chulin. Maybe behema shtei kesef, bring an animal which is worth two kesef. Avo behema lema any yochol for. We can't add an animal to an animal because I'm run. Like we said before, so it's should take kol behema behema shtei kesef. Each and every animal has to be two kesef. Kun kulam lechavasa have it. So they're only the offer's obligation. The eino choli kachim mos meiser levado mashu dover shebechoyva olav. You can't take from meiser money alone that which is obligatory on him. So that's again. So Rabbi Yochanan back to the Gemara. Rabbi Yochanan Omer toivel adam the most vein adam tovel behema. Person can't add an animal. Yeah, in other words, you have to get up to two kesef. So if you only have a more kesef chulin, you shouldn't buy an animal for that because that animal doesn't count. Counts according to Chizkiah, but not according to Rabbi Yochanan. So it's better to join a mos ma'aser sheni for each and every animal you bring in order to bring it up to the level of shtei kesef. But so the each according to Chizkiah, you can add on you can add on animals. And there's no minimum share for each korban. So you can add animals, and better to take one korban, which is worth a ma'chulin, and then add more animals to get up to whatever number you need to get up in order for it to from ma'aser sheni. According to Rabbi Yochanan, the ma doesn't do any good, really. At least only does partial good because you need to have an animal to two mos. So each and every animal must be worth two mos. So therefore, the first animal you take from chulin, and well, actually, Moshe has every animal, but you take animal, at least the first animal, have to take chulin and be mashlim from ma'aser sheni, whatever you need, because otherwise, the animal which would take 2 kesef. The thing is, since Rabbi Yochanan holds that it has to be 2 kesef midoraisa, so therefore the Gemara in Chagiga says, if you do bring an animal which is just a ma of chulin with a ma ma'aser sheni attached to it, so it's not derech yontif, because it's even though shamay chagiga you can eat from a yontif, it's not derech yontif because it's not to be a davar shebechayva shamay chagiga, it has to be completely min chulin. So therefore, even though you can add to your ma kesef and chulin a ma ma'aser sheni, it's just going to be shalni in the davar. It's not going to be. Shamei Chagiga. So the only way it's going to be Shamei Chagiga is actually if each animal is worth 2 mos from chulin. So the Gemara is a bit misleading. The Gemara says Tofel Adam Tofel mos the mos. They have Tofel behema levema. Yeah, you can add on, but you have to have at least 2 mos of chulin in each animal for it to be doicha yontif. If it's as ochel nefesh. And it's as a davar shebechayva, sorry. But if it's less than 2 ma chulin in each animal, although you can add on, that's not going to qualify as a shamei chagiga. But once you have 2 ma chulin in an animal, then you can add on ma'aser sheni money in order to make it a bigger korban, a more behuda korban, or even a quote. But that, in order to have a character shamei chagiga, you have to have 2 ma kesef. Then call marba for even for ma'aser sheni harei mishubach. And now we have received. We've gotten up to. Already. Yeah, we're up to the second line here, Chavida, and I see in the article Shas they put in the brackets in the Gemara itself. Anyway, we're up to the second line here, Chavida, and I'm Ralph, and we'll take it from there, and it's Hashem tomorrow.